So this is my plan of intentionality. I'm Anna, to begin with. We'll go to the next slide. A little bit about me. I'm from Lakeland, Florida. I grew up there my whole life, hence the Publix sandwiches. Publix is where Lakeland originated, or where yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Publix is where Lakeland, I don't know if I'm making sense, but I like to claim the pub sub, and I probably talked about it a lot this year, so I just had to put that in there. And yeah, another fun fact is my first time in Chattanooga, I went paragliding, and I've been saying that this year, and I was like, I need to put a picture up there. So that's a picture of me paragliding like my sophomore year of high school in Chattanooga, so really funny. And so I went to the University of Florida too, and I majored in family, youth, and community sciences. I knew I wanted to do something in the helping field. I kind of thought maybe I'd be interested in counseling, and my senior year I started to apply to grad schools, and then quickly realized I need to think about this and take time to discern and work outside of school. And I remember hearing about the Fellows program. One of my friends did it in Gainesville. And so I was like, okay, that sounds interesting, and it sounds like something I would really enjoy doing. And so I applied to a couple of programs. Chattanooga worked out, and so that's kind of how I came to Chattanooga to do the Fellows. And I was really excited for this year. I didn't really know what it would look like. I tried to come in with not a lot of expectations. I had never lived this far from my family before, and my friends and people who felt like home to me, so it was new and exciting and nerve-wracking. And so yeah, this kind of leads me into my next point. I'm gonna go through the way my slides will be set up. It will be like the different facets of Fellows in Chattanooga. And so to begin with, I'll talk about the community of Chattanooga. Like I said, a lot of the friends I went to college with, I went to high school with, and I went to elementary with. So a lot of my friends I've just had throughout my life, which has been a really sweet thing. And looking back, I realize just how blessed I am to have those relationships that I love so much. But I was nervous to come to Chattanooga. It was new, and I'd never been around people that hadn't known me for so long. So this has been a really amazing experience of getting out of my comfort zone and meeting new people who I don't know and who don't know my story, and letting them into my story and feeling known through that has been really great. I live with the Browns, who are just an amazing family and have really welcomed me in with open arms. Gigi, Verity, Wes, Mindy, Tori, Nate, there's a lot of them. But this has just been a really sweet experience of just being given love so freely and not having to earn it, but for them to just welcome me in. I really have just loved that time of getting to know them and living with them this year. Another really great aspect of the program is our community dinners that we do each week, not month. I mean, there's so many names, the Nessies, the Evans, Haley Nottage, the Greers, the list could go on. This has just been a really sweet way to be known by the community and also just hear people's stories and their hardships, but also the joys and how they invest in the community of Chattanooga. I've really just enjoyed this time of just being welcomed into people's homes so freely again. And then another aspect is just our church. North Shore Fellowship has just been a really great place to know people. It was scary being planted in a church and then kind of being put there for the 9 months, but I just really enjoyed my time here at North Shore Fellowship and getting to know people. Also, my mentorship with Maggie has been so sweet, and getting to know her has been really great. So some things I want to take with me from my Fellows year is, and this might seem kind of like a juxtaposition, but something that I've really enjoyed with the Fellows year is just the solitude and reflection that it emphasizes. And on our retreat in January, we did a solitude and fasting retreat, and this was just a really great way to sit with the Lord and really just grow in intimacy with him. And Ralston gave us this packet that had a lot of different devotion and passages in it, and one of them was by Henry Nouwen, and I love this quote that says, community is not loneliness grabbing onto loneliness. I'm so lonely and you're so lonely. It's solitude grabbing onto solitude. I am the beloved, you are the beloved. Together we can build a home together. And this is something that I realize I really want to emphasize in the next season of my life, of knowing that I can't strive to win someone's love. My identity comes first in Christ. And out of that, I can build relationships that are loving and kind and rooted in the truth of who God is. And so this is something I really want to take with me. Another thing is feasting. I love food, and I'm always thinking about it a little bit in the back of my head. Like on Mondays, I'm present during the lesson, but I'm always like, okay, what's for lunch? Because I kind of want meatloaf, or I want taqueria alba, and I just can't. I'm just always thinking about it. So I think, and reflecting on just meals we've had, like I said, community dinners, and I just think that I want to incorporate this in life after this, and cooking good meals and eating with people, and I want to have dinners once a week with roommates, and just being really intentional with wanting to hear the stories of people over meals. I think, so that's something that's just really been something that I've realized I want to incorporate in this next season of life. Okay, next. Faith. I think college was really a great time for me to take ownership of my faith and ask the Lord questions that I've had for years but maybe didn't have the courage to ask, and to build relationships based on the love of Christ, not perfectly, but to strive for that. My campus ministry was a really great time for me to just learn more of the Lord and what community looks like in that. But like I said, I was kind of in this zone of comfort of being with friends I'd known for years, and kind of having this okay, I'm comfortable here, but if you ask me to do something out of my comfort zone, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. So coming to Chattanooga was really out of my comfort zone, but really great. And it really was, I remember it when I was in the interview process, I was like, this is just such a leap of faith where the Lord is leading me. So, and I also was just really excited to learn and to be in a setting and classes where we're given books that I enjoy reading, and meeting with Joey or John and Chris and Jason to ask questions that they can have the wisdom in answering. So that I really enjoyed our Old Testament and New Testament classes. That has been really great. And just some things I've seen, some of the many things I've seen just of what the Lord has been showing me of who he is a lot. I can't cover it all in this, but one thing that I've seen is he is a God who loves justice. Our Micah 6:8 retreat was a really great retreat of learning just of what it looks like as Christians to get angry for justice and to fight for that, but also to just remember all the injustice that has happened. Going to the National Museum of African American History, or our civil rights pilgrimage led by Keelan Adams was just a really great time of learning. The Lord has a heart for that, and as Christians we need to acknowledge that and run towards it. Another thing that has been really, when I reflect a lot on this year, it's I kind of talked about this a little bit before, but knowing my belovedness in the Lord and the freedom that comes in that, I found myself a lot in my life, not just this year, just wanting to strive and to earn the people's opinions and whatnot. But I think what has been really cool this year is knowing that before I get up in the morning, before I do anything, he calls me beloved first, and I don't have to win that title. It's just he gives it to me, and that has been just a really sweet thing of knowing that and having to receive that with open hands is hard, but also it's just the sweetest relationship that he wants that for me. Another quote that I love from the Henry Nouwen devotional packet is, it's an incredible mystery of God's love that the more you know how deeply loved you are, how deeply you are loved, the more you will see how deeply your sisters and your brothers and the human family are loved. And so this has just been a really big encouragement to me and will continue to be an encouragement to me as I walk the road of adulthood and what that will look like for life after Fellows. And even in the stories we've heard throughout the year of the hardships that come in life and the joys that come in life, I think it's been really sweet to see just how important it is to sit at the feet of Jesus first, and to know that before anything else, that's where I should be. And he welcomes us to that. And he doesn't want me to have it all together, but rather he simply just wants me for me, and he delights in me. And so that's just been a really sweet thing to learn throughout this year, through the stories and people we've met. Okay, next is vocation. I am working at Choices Pregnancy Resource Center. I work as a client service intern, so I'm doing a whole lot of different things, but this has just been really sweet. And I really have loved working here throughout my Fellows year. Before Fellows, I think vocation was something that felt scary to me and daring and a lot of insecurity, to be honest. I wasn't really sure what it looked like to do work well and to have confidence in that. But through our class with Lane, which has been a really great, doing every good endeavor, Joey, our strong and weak class with him, our vocational lunches, Libby O'Neill, Michelle Pinkerton, Blake Lamb, the list could go on again. This has just been a really great time of learning what vocation looks like to them and career or professionals in Chattanooga, and what it looks like to take ownership of your gifts and what the Lord gives us and to steward those well, but also like to be confident in them. And I really have just loved this time of learning people's stories again. So that has been really great. Another thing I was just wanting to touch again on Choices and just how amazing the staff have been, loving on me throughout this year, and creating a space where it's okay if I make mistakes and encouraging me in that and encouraging growth. This has just been a really great time of being with them. So, yeah. And that's the quote. Sorry, I didn't read that, but that's a quote from the Every Good Endeavor that says, "What is the Christian understanding of work? It is that work is not primarily a thing one does to live, but the thing one lives to do. It is, or it should be, the full expression of the worker's faculties, the medium in which he offers himself to God." So I think a lot of what I've learned this year has really reframed how I see work, which has been a really great blessing. Another aspect is the city and civic duty. This has been said a lot, but I think coming to Chattanooga and being a part of the Fellows programs, you learn so much about the city in 9 months that I feel like I've been here for quite some time just because of the way it's structured, and I'm really thankful for that. To see, again, a community of people just want to pour into the city and see it flourish has been a really big blessing and has changed how I want to approach wherever I move and staying in Chattanooga in life after Fellows. It has just helped me see like the importance of seeing all aspects of your city, and to move towards those different aspects, even the ones that are maybe more hidden and not in the zones that you are in. So I think with our nonprofit visits too, this has been a really great time of learning. There's just so many unique needs a city needs, and so many nonprofits we've been to this year, I've been like, I didn't even realize that's something that a city needs, Welcome Home, Chat Foundation, Launch Incubator, Amani U, Momentum, the list could go on again. But I just think this has just been a really cool part of the Fellows program, maybe a part I was more curious about because I didn't really know what it would look like, but this has really just changed the way I want to live in a city and participate. And I don't want to stand by anymore. I want to be a part of it. Yes, so to end, I put this quote up here. And yet I decide every day to set aside what I can do best and attempt what I do very clumsily, open myself up to the frustrations and failures of loving, daring to believe that failing in love is better than succeeding in pride. And I read that quote and I was like, wow, I feel like this kind of sums up a lot of what we've heard from different speakers this year, that it just takes a lot of trust and faith and knowing that I may not know what's around the corner, but the Lord does, and knowing there's healing that comes with that. And so I just think that has been a really something that has been really amazing to learn from people who are older than me this year, that I don't have to have it all together. It's just a long obedience in the same direction. And then I also last week I was like, I was sad and just feeling a lot of different emotions with Fellows ending. And I think I also was realizing endings are just hard, and it just feels hard to end something that you've been doing for 9 months. And I looked up seasons ending on desiringgod.com, and there's like this beautifully written article by someone, I don't even know who it was, that talked about just like how this is kind of just the tension that we're holding of like, we're not ever gonna, it's just the tension of being like, this is sad, but we have to go on, like Lyle was talking about. And then there's this quote that I love that says, even this fallen world holds moments as precious. Oh wait, I read that wrong. If even this fallen world holds moments as precious as these, what will eternity with him be like? And so I just think that's a really sweet thing to think about and to sit on. And I'm just really thankful for this year. I can't imagine doing anything different. And I'm really excited for what's to come. I'm staying in Chattanooga, so yeah.